ती लिंक पाठवतो यूट्यूबची, तुम्ही मेल करून टाका सगळ्यांना.
हो मग. हा. आणि बहुतेक सर पण असतील, प्रिन्सिपल सर, काल त्यांना पाठवलंय. हा हा. आता इथे काहीतरी 19 पीपल वेटिंग म्हणताय. आणि दुस हम्म. आणि दुसरं असं आहे की आपण पहिले साधारण त्यांचं 45 मिनिट्स ते बोलणार आहेत, तर साधारण एक पहिला अर्धा तास आपण चॅट हे करून टाकू, क्लोज करू, कारण लोक उगाच ते गुड मॉर्निंग आणि ते टाकत बसतात. आणि मग एक साधारण 9:30 किंवा 9:35 वगैरे आपण ते चॅट बॉक्स ओपन करू, म्हणजे मग काही असतील त्यांचे. एक सेकंड.
Up to- Hello.
Hello.
हॅलो.
Hello.
हा सर, येतोय आवाज.
Just moment, just moment. Okay, ma'am, am I audible to you?
येस सर.
Okay, thank you.
सर,
Yes. Hello. Hello.
हॅलो सर, ऐकू येत आहे?
Yes, ma'am.
हां, सर मी स्क्रीन शेअर करते जोपर्यंत तुमचं इंट्रोडक्शन मी देईन तोपर्यंत आपली जे बॅकग्राऊंड सेटअप आहे तो.
Okay.
आणि मग माझा इंट्रोडक्शन पार्ट झाला की मग आय इन्व्हाइट यू टू स्पीक. मग तुम्ही तेव्हा तोपर्यंत मी शेअर करते, मग मी ऑफ करून देते.
Okay, okay, no problem. So you can share your screen and later on I will take it over.
येस येस.
Okay, thank you.
ओके. येस.
हॅलो.
हॅलो.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
गुड मॉर्निंग.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर.
कल्याणी,
हा सर.
ते युट्यूब लिंक भेटली?
हो सर, शेअर केली आहे. स्नेहा करतीये शेअर.
बरं, मी नाहीतर तुला याच्यावर मेलवर फॉरवर्ड केली आहे.
हो हो, मिळाली सर. मावळे सरांनी पाठवलेली आहे, ती फॉरवर्ड केली. मी स्नेहा करतीये फॉरवर्ड पॅरलली.
बरं बरं, ठीक
कारण
आहे.
मी हे
सर आलेत
बाकी.
का? सर आलेत?
हो
Yes,
सर,
sir.
आले.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर. कल्याणी,
हा सर.
केव्हा करते?
सर आता किती 386 पार्टिसिपंट, एक 5 मिनिटात करूयात चालू.
350 वगैरे झालेत. कर, एक 5 मिनिटात चालू कर.
हो सर, 388 अकाउंट आता.
आणि प्रिन्सिपल सर जॉईन झालेत?
नाही अजून सर.
बरं
म्हणजे
बरं,
मी चेक करते पार्टिसिपंट्स मधनं, पण अजून नाही दिसत.
चेक करत राहा.
येस सर.
आणि नंतर मग वोट ऑफ थँकच्या वेळेस त्यांनी रिक्वेस्ट कर.
वोट ऑफ थँक्स मोडक सर देणार आहेत, मग कसं करू?
नाही, त्यांच्या वोट ऑफ थँकच्या अगोदर
ठीक
आलेस
आहे.
तर, किंवा आता आले तर आता.
चालेल चालेल. अबाउट कॉलेज थोडं.
ठीक आहे.
हो चालेल सर.
ओके ओके.
ओके.
बच्चू, ए बच्चू.
Hello. Hello, Kalyani ma'am. Should we start?
Hello.
Yeah,
Sir,
ma'am.
So yes.
So
Yes,
should we
sir.
start?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
आवारी सर स्टार्ट करूं? हेलो 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 आवारी सर सर तुमचं अनम्यूट करा ना. हेलो हेलो
हॅलो.
हाँ सर स्टार्ट
हा
करू.
कर, चालू कर.
Yes, sir.
ओके.
Yes. Good morning to one and all present for this webinar here. I, Kalyani Kulkarni, on behalf of Civil Engineering Department, AISSMS COE, warmly welcome you all for today's webinar on MS Projects for Management of Construction Projects, to be delivered by Mr. B.T. Ade, sir, Head PG Program in Construction Project Management at Infini Institute, Pune. Welcome, sir. Before we start, a brief introduction of today's speaker. Mr. Ade sir has completed his Masters of Engineering in Construction and Management, degree and diploma in Civil Engineering. He is a certified Microsoft project professional, Oracle Primavera specialist, and has 20 years of experience in training, consultancy, and teaching. He is expert in Primavera EPPM P6 18.8 version, MS Project 2019, MS Office Excel, and AutoCAD BIM. He has served the construction industry for more than 4 years and later joined teaching and training. He provides consultancy in project planning, scheduling, monitoring, and controlling. Positions that he has held: head in PG post-graduation program in construction and project management at Infini Institute since June 1st, 2019. He was head of short-term certification program since 1st June 2016 to 31st May 2019. Assistant professor at VIT Institute, Pune since 2004 to 31st May 2016. Visiting faculty at MIT Institution and MIT College of Management for postgraduate students of construction management. Trainer for more than 40 programs for engineers and managers from civil industry and students of civil engineering. He was site in charge at Marvel Realtors, Pune during 2000 to 2004. His expertise includes applications of Primavera, Microsoft Project, Microsoft Office Project, excuse me, for project planning, scheduling, and control, estimation and rate analysis using MS Office Excel and Advanced Excel and AutoCAD and BIM. His clientele includes Shapurji Palanji Company Limited, PWD Pune, Raymond Limited, Mumbai and Thane, Gulfar Engineering and Contracting, Oman, MS Softtech Engineers Private, Pune, Karan Builders, Pune, Advitiya Projects Private Limited, Pune, Civil Engineering Software Academy, College of Military Engineering, Khadki, D.Y. Patil College of Engineering, Akurdi, WIT Sangli, Pioneer Institute of Management and Technology, LLC, Sadara Chemical Company, Saudi Arabia, and International Maritime Industries, Saudi Arabia. I would also like to add one thing. I have been his student back in 2011 when I was pursuing my post-graduation in MIT College. So even I have learned MSP and Primavera from sir, and I'm very proud of that fact. Welcome, sir. And we are very happy to have you here with us today. And this session is going to be really knowledgeable and it will really help all the participants. Welcome, sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I hope that I'm audible to all.
Yes,
Yes. Okay. First of all, I'm thankful to AISSMS management, Principal Dr. D.S. Bormane sir, then Dr. Uttam Avari sir, HOD Civil Department, all coordinator, Professor S.D. Nagarale, PR Modak, and convener Kalyani ma'am, all civil engineering department faculties. So good morning once again. I'm assuming that all participants are from civil background and maybe a few are students, then few are faculties, some are the industry person, and so on. So before I start my session, so requesting to everyone to just mute your microphones, and we will start the session. You can keep posting your sessions, or sorry, the questions in a chat box. At the end of this session, I will take all the questions. And again, requesting you, please feel free to ask any kind of questions about the software and the project management. Okay, so here I'm okay. I hope you can see my screen, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me start.
So just one announcement.
Yes.
The participants who are not able to join the meeting, we have shared the live YouTube screening link with you all on your mail IDs. So you can access through YouTube for this video. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So let us see today's agenda. Most of the participants, they are confused. Which software is better, MS Project or Primavera? We will discuss in detail. The next one is how to develop a realistic schedule. This is my experience that after graduations, few students, they learn software and they start preparation of the schedule. They think that whatever the schedule they have developed, this is applicable to the construction. I have become now as a planning engineer, but the reality is different. So to become as a planning engineer, subsequently project manager, which are the quality that you should have, how you have to control entire project, that we will discuss. The next part will be how to develop a realistic schedule. There are some rules, guidelines you have to follow, and then you have to develop the schedule. Most important part is resource planning and the cash flow. The top management always, they are interested that how much money I'm spending and how much money I will get back. How much is loss and profit. So how to report to the top management, how to make sure that you have appropriate fund to complete the project. Then the monitoring and controlling. Preferably when you are starting any project, you can see on a screen that you are not starting like this. So this is my start of the project and this is the end of the project. Now you are not completing one phase, second phase, third phase. We are not going in this way. So how we are moving to complete any project? So it would be like this. First of all, you are going to start the initiating of the project, means initiating. Who initiate the project? Top management, right? Then you are starting here, slowly here you are starting the planning of the project. So this is the planning. There is no need to wait to complete all planning. Parallel, you can start here. This is the execution. And then at the end, slowly you are going to start finishing of the project. So this is my closing of the project. What about the monitoring and controlling? So the monitoring and controlling would be here. It will be throughout the project. So this is the monitoring and controlling, right? And so how to monitor and control, that we will discuss in detail. Then the next part will be at the last. As I mentioned that you please raise your questions. You can keep in a chat box so that I will address at the end. Okay, first one, which software is better, MS Project or Primavera? There's again, it's a big debate which software I should prefer. But before you go for any software, you first ask the question yourself, what is my requirement, right? So depends on my requirement, I have to select. But preferably in case of the Primavera, which is totally utilized for the project management. And here, this is all about the database. Everything will be stored in the database. You can handle multiple projects at a time, multiple resources at a time. And even in case of the cloud base or the server base, every person, if they are connected each other, so they can work at any time at different locations and so on. Same thing for MS Project. I can say here, this is for a small to medium, you can use MS Project, but in Indian scenario, this is the software is being used mostly. And this is why what is the logic to use this MS Project software in Indian construction? And that is, first of all, this is the user friendly, right? You are familiar with Excel, Word, Access, and like this. So this is the Microsoft product. And so that you will feel that this is very easy to operate it. So this is only one thing, which is we are using MS Project in construction in India in construction. But if you go here for the MNC companies, Primavera is preferable. Let me just give simple example about this Pune Metro. They are using Primavera. So because we have the complex activities, multiple projects and multiple phases, and we have to go for this one. So ultimately, which software is better? It's totally depends on your requirements. You first freeze your requirement. As per your requirement, either you can go for MS Project or you can go for Primavera. Both the softwares are equally good. Okay, next one is scheduling model. Before we start demo in MS Project, you please understand how is the workflow, where we have to start to develop a schedule. So here I can explain you. First one is the scheduling method. Scheduling method means you might have learned about critical path method, then critical chain method, maybe some new terminologies, which is the agile methodologies. So first thing is that you have to decide which method you are going to use it. After selecting method, you have to select which tool. Are you going to use MS Project or Primavera, or even you can use the Excel sheet, but Excel sheet is not prepared or which is not designed to develop a schedule. So after selecting number one, you have to select any tool, but just having methods and any software, I cannot develop any schedule. To develop a schedule, that we required bare minimum information, and that is all about the project. So when you are starting the project, it has to be start with the scope of the project. What is exactly is to be delivered. Then after the scope, the next part will be the WBS, work breakdown structure. Then you should have all these activities from the construction, then the sequence of the activities, the resources to complete activities, then the durations of the activities, and then after adding all this plus tool plus method, you are going to develop a model. How will be the output? The output will be in a different format. You might have observed this one. That is the number one is Gantt chart. The Gantt chart represent number one is the time scale. And the second part is that all activities are plotted against the time scale with the relationship. The second output is network diagram, where in case of network diagram, there is no time scale. The third output of this model is that you can see this diamond shape indicate the milestones. So you have to represent your entire project in the form of the milestones. And the last one is the tabular format. Now, after this, I will take you on a different platform where you can see, or I will just try to explain you about all this concept. Now, in case of this Gantt chart, if you just see here, it would be my status line. You can consider this is my status line where I'm just checking the entire status. This activity was supposed to start, but suppose it's getting delayed. This is the delay of the activity A. It will push activity B like this. It's like this, okay? And so that what you can see in this Gantt chart, you can see how much is the deviation from my original plan. So this was my original end date. Now I'm expecting here, this is the proposed end date. How much will be the deviation that we can find out. So this network diagram, which is represent to just get which are the predecessor and which are the successor. The milestone chart. Again, who need this milestone chart? Top management. right? Okay, because they want to see if I'm just taking about this status line till this status line, which major milestones were supposed to get completed. You can see if you have achieved, it's okay. If it's not achieved, then we have to go at the root level. What was the issues? What was the problem? Is it the case for the resources or any other conditions that you have to check it? And then you can see this is a tabular format. Who need this table? That team members or the site people, those who are working on site. Okay, now going back to again here, how to start a schedule. Most of the software, though you take MS Project or Primavera, directly you can start to develop a schedule by entering activity. But you just simply ask the question, is it a first step to start my schedule? The answer is absolutely no, because directly you cannot start adding of the activities. The process, first of all, from the contract, you should get all this contractual date, and all the date you can put it in the form of the milestones. Obviously that you should have all the scope, the resources and everything, and you have to develop all this schedule, and this is the overall flow. I will not go in detail because preferably I'm assuming that you know a little bit the sequence about the activities, relationship and everything. That this is all about the theoretical part, which I'm not going to discuss. Preferably how will be the output from the software, that part I'm going to just explain you. So directly when I'm jumping to MS Project, so how you can develop a dynamic schedule, what is the timeline, how you have to go for look ahead. What is the meaning of the look ahead? If you have developed the schedule, for example, if you have developed this schedule, so this you can consider these are all activities, and it would be my start date, and this is the end date of the project. So from this date, suppose you are starting the project from 1st June 20, from next 1 month, how many activities I have to perform, how many activities I have to complete. That is called look ahead plan. Why I have to go for look ahead plan? Because I have to see the resources, the constraint and everything like this, how to prepare it, then how to prepare the schedule as per the contract also that we will discuss, how to plan resources, cash flow, the tracking and the indicators. Okay, from this, let me just shift to MS Project directly. On a screen that you can see, I have opened one simple project. And this is a simple network diagram. In a project, how many activities are involving? Is it 100, 200, 500? The answer is not only 500 or 1000. I have seen project where the number of activities were more than 40,000 activities. Just to imagine how you can control, how you can plan, right? And in construction, you might have experienced that on daily basis, there are changes. How you will capture all the changes on daily basis, how to control in terms of time, quantities, resources, and that everything that you will get idea when you are using MS Project. So starting from this, it's a Clubhouse project. Whenever you are planning any project, first of all, I should get all these drawings in the plan, elevation, and like this. If I double click here on my summary level, I will get all this data about what is the plan, elevation, maybe it's a walkthrough and everything. And you can connect any activity. You can just upload, you can connect with PDF or Excel or AutoCAD files. So everything that you can put it for each and every activity, even how to perform that activity, you can put it in the form of the notes. This is one thing. Now, this is basically a table. And in this table, you can see this is a big list of all activities. In project, if I click on the project here, I'm starting my project from 1st June, and then I'm getting here end date. But can I change my start date? Yes, I can change the start date. At any time, I can change the start date. You can see here, this is the start date and the finish date. The moment I change the start date, I want to start my project not from 1st June, I want to start from 1st July. So let us put here And if I'm changing from 1st July, if I click on OK, see how much time software has taken to just develop a schedule. All the date has changed. And the same thing, suppose you want to develop manually, it will take time. It's a time consuming, it's a tedious job. At the same time, you have to check it, which are the working days, non-working days. But for the software, it's just a fraction of a second. Even just don't give only start date. You can provide the end date also. Suppose I want to finish this project on a particular day. Let's assume that it could be any particular day. Let us put here, this is on February 21, 28. I want to finish. If I click on this, you will get the end date. You provide the end date, you will get the start date. So this is very dynamic. So you can change any date at any time. Coming back to again, June, let us put here, this is from the 1st June and click on OK. On this right-hand side, you can see this is the network diagram. And if I select any activity, you might have observed that few activities color will get changed. What this represent? This represent that which are the activities which are influencing to start this activity. We can see with this color, and at the same time, you can see the different color. If I select other activities, out of this, what this represent? All this color represent means if I do change anything in all this colored activity, it would be impact on the selected activity. But if you just change on this activity, there is no impact because this activity is having some free time. So like this, we can see that which activity I have to change. The dynamic of this software is that if I just go here in a format and text style, from this, I want to change here the background where I want to see. Okay, so if I just click on this, and if I'm changing anything, suppose here one of the activity, which is the casting of PCC. And now instead of this 1 day, if I'm making here 5 days, what will happen? So there is no need to check manually. You have to just select here. So you can see the impact due to this 5 days, it will change the overall project durations. At the same time, it will get changed on my overall project end date. So like this, you can check it. You can see all this data. Even as I mentioned earlier, that look ahead plan, it's very simple that when you are just going here, suppose I want to see next month activities, simply go here, you have filter. And if I just go here for this month, next month, if I click on next month, you can see activities which I have to perform in next month only. So these are only activities and you can apply the filter. Like this, you can provide filter for weekly basis or maybe on daily basis. Let me just remove the filter and just again coming back to the original position. Similarly, here, top management, they're always interested not in detail because they don't have time to just see all activities. In a meeting, they required the data which is in a very short format or summary level. One tip I would like to give at this stage, that whenever you are approaching to your management, you have to produce a data, you can say in a half page. It could be multiple project or multiple activities because they need what is the overall summary of all the project and they are there to take decisions about the project. So how to produce it? To produce this, you can click on view and there is one option and that is the timeline. You can see here the timeline. In this timeline, it's already all milestones have been added here and you can see all these milestones. These are all important stages of the project and all these milestones can be connected with the payment terms and conditions. If I do change the start date of the project, for example, if I'm changing here 1st August, now you can see till this date, we were supposed to complete 2 major milestones. For example, it's a mobilization of the project and maybe the first lab, right? So like this, we can check it. The management will ask, have you completed the answer would be yes or no format, right? If the milestone have not completed, what is the issues, what is the problem, how you can recover the remaining part. So this is again applicable for the top management. Going back to again view, and I'm just minimizing it. The second part where you can just use this, I will go here in view and directly I can use the subcontractors. If I use, let me just again change here. Okay, now you can see on a screen that I can develop the schedule as per the subcontractors. Suppose I have appointed maybe 5 to 10 subcontractors. I want to see that which contractor and which activity they have to perform on monthly basis. Either it would be on weekly basis or maybe on monthly basis. So that you can see their report. Even you can change the sequence. I will go here at more group. From this more group, I will change my sequence. It's not a start. Okay, so here I will just change here. Okay, first of all, I will just go for the start. The interval I will keep here as a month. Okay, and then I can change to subcontractors, save, and if I click on apply, now it's a reverse case. In the month of June, which are the subcontractor and which are the activity they have to perform. For example, here in the month of June, this is the contractor, second contractor, third contractor, and so on. So this is very user friendly, and you can just have a control on this project. Now, moving ahead, without resource, you cannot complete any project. So can we add resources? Yes, definitely. So to add resources, there's options available, that is the resource sheet. In the resource sheet that you can see here, this is the list of all the resources. You can assign it. The beauty of this one is that you can connect this resource sheet with the Excel sheet. Just imagine that you have rate analysis, and if the rate has changed, rate of any material or labor has changed in Excel sheet, then whether it can be connected with MS Project, whether it will get updated, the answer is yes, it will get updated automatically, right? Okay, so now all resources which is I have just listed here, I will shift to other project where I will show you the better result. Now let us see here. This is again the similar project. Most of the time, what we need how many resources I need in every month. After assigning all the resources, you can find out the resource utilization, resource requirement. There's an option available, resource uses. Let me just see here which resource I need. All steel. I will go here. I can see on a screen that resources, the steel, these are all the steel which I required. How much is the consumption?
Excuse me, sir. Sorry to just interrupt you.
Yes.
So that MSP sheet is not visible on the PPT.
Can you see my screen?
Screen is visible, sir. We can see your PPT. Slide number 8 also we can see the scheduling model is seen, but we are not able to see the MSP page that you are showing for the adjustments.
Okay. Just a moment. Okay. So when I lost, because is it just okay? Have you seen the earlier project which I have shown?
So this Excel sheet right now that you sorry.
This is MS Project.
So that was seen when you had opened. Then later on, it was not seen. At the start, we could see that.
Okay.
And later we just saw a blank black colored small screen on the PPT background.
Okay, no problem. Yes. So is it visible, right?
Yes, sir, now it's visible.
Okay, thank you. Yes. So I was just talking about resources. For any project, we require resources. You can see this is just a demo. You can see what is the overall overall steel requirement. Suppose I need, this is the overall steel. What is the overall cost? How much is the consumption on monthly basis? I want to check it where I have used all this 8 mm steel bar. You have to select here. You can see where I have used all steel bars, how much in terms of quantities and so on. So we can find out the overall quantities. You can place the order because it's not the case that you require maybe 1000 kg, 1000 cement bags and you will get it in shop. So you have to provide, you have to place order, you have to check the lead time, the moment you place the order and the moment you are getting the cement bags on the site. But this is very useful tool where you can plan any resources well in advance and you can just manage your cash flow. Moving ahead, if I just go here in report and going here resource overview, here you can see all resources. As of now, I have just listed only steel. You can see every month how much steel I required, right? So again, this is called resource histogram. Going forward, in case of the cost, this is the cash flow, how much cost I need. And this cost consists of labor cost, material cost, and other expenses, which is happening on site. So this is the cash flow. Why this cash flow is important? Because we have to manage for big project. The cost of the project, if you just consider for infrastructure project, cost could be starting from 500 crore, 1000 crore, 2000 crore, and like this. So how you will manage? You must know how much cost you require. And if the flow of the cost has stopped, it will directly impact on your progress of the project. So with the help of this tool, you can figure out, you can anticipate that how much will be the cost required, how much amount you required, when you required. And so this is the cash flow. You can generate different graphs. It's very user-friendly, but ultimately that don't just prepare only fancy report to just impress someone. Whenever you prepare any report, that should have some values, means there should be some purpose when you preparing any report. So all kind of report you can generate. And one more thing, that don't go what is the limitation of the software, because we have not reached, or we are not here to find out what is the limitations of the software. You just wish what you require is available, but at the same time, you please understand this is just a tool. It will work, depends on your input. If you are providing a right input, it will do some calculations and it will provide output, that is the right output. So the basic question will start from whether software will decide the durations of any activity. The answer is no. Then who will decide the durations of any activities? Then again, you have to follow all the process. That is starting with this scope, the contractual terms and conditions, milestones, productivity of the resource. Even when you are finding the durations of any activities, you get the input from the person who's doing that task. Let me take one simple example. If you want to find out how much the overall durations to complete a single wall, right? So at the same time, you must know what is the productivity of a painter in a day. Similarly, what is the output, or we can say it's a productivity by a carpenter in a day. What is the output of a fitter in a day? Depends on that. You have to find out the durations of any activities and you have to plan accordingly. Moving ahead, we should not stop here only to develop a schedule. Let me just go here and we have to monitor and control. There is different views available. If I right click here and this is my view, let's assume that this project was supposed to start on a particular day, but actually the project is delayed. And how to incorporate all these delays? Let me just give a simple example. Suppose it has started and here it's a June. Let me just put here, this is the date. Okay. This is the date, which is, I have to just put it here, May and June. Okay. So this is the date. Now, what will happen? Suppose I have completed a few activities. These activities I have completed. I will simply go here. I will just put it here. This is 100%. Right click, bar styles. and I will provide here progress with this green color to indicate these are all the progress. But if you ask the question whether we are going as per plan, the plan was like this. This activity has started here, but it was supposed to start somewhere here, backdated. So you can find out maybe how much is the deviation, and that will be in the form of the slippage. By how many days your entire project is getting slipped, delayed. And all this delay we can find out. We can see here all the variances that in the beginning, the project is getting delayed by 8 days. And so that, and at the last, depends on all this network, it will get delayed by 12 days. So if you are producing this kind of report, do you think that the management will be happy that, yes, very good, you have developed very good report. So the project is delayed by 8 days and will get delayed at the end by 12 days. So are you producing like this? As a role of a planning engineer, you have to go at the root level, why the delay has happened, who are the responsible. And the next is you have to decide the strategy, how I can recover my entire project, which are the methods I have to follow. Because here, if this network is getting delayed, so you can see the subsequently that all my activities will get shifted. Let me just show you the last activity so that we can see. So there is a delay from the baseline. This was my milestone, now has shifted. And so here I'm expecting when my project will get finished. And you have to just compress. There are different compression techniques like a fast tracking or the caching, resource optimization, and so many things. But ultimately that whenever you are producing any schedule, that schedule must be realistic. And nothing is wrong if you are getting input from the side people, right? And so this is just introduction about MS project, how it works. There are so many features are available. Even if you just go back to entry level, and there is indicators where you can see, you can put different indicators to indicate that the activities cost is exceeding more than 50,000 and like this. When you are using maybe the server, you will get directly the indicator that which activities. These days, the technologies, the advancement in the technologies that on a daily basis, the moment you are entering on the site on a tab or on your smartphone, you will get the list of activities which you are supposed to be completed on a particular day. So this is very advanced level. But before you just jump to the software, you take one step back. You make sure that all your basics are very clear, because like what is a float, is a free float, the total float, critical activity, critical chain, how to assign the resources, how to find out the productivity, then the rate analysis and everything, the tenders and contracts. So these are all the foundations whenever you are developing any schedule. Simply just by adding activities, you cannot develop a schedule, right? So this was a few things which I wanted to share with you. So here you can develop a schedule for multiple activities, multiple WBS. You can produce a timeline chart. You can generate a resource graph. The last part, which I will just explain you about the resource graph. At any time you can generate it. For example, here, let me just go in a resource graph. In the resource graph, you can have all these reports we can generate, we can see on a screen. Okay, so this is the report we can generate. This is the total daily consumption. Right click, you can change the timeline. Suppose I want to see on weekly basis, you will get the idea about how much is the consumption. Right click again, you can change to monthly basis. Again, you can find out here all these options. This is not only the planning. In actual case, we have to track it. Going back to again here, steel. So you can find out here how much is the actual consumption. Suppose this 8 mm steel in the month of June, this was my target. Out of that, how much is actually consumed? Is it consumed less, or it's the same, or it's more than that? And so subsequently you can go for a reconciliation. So that you have to do where we vested, whether we have vested it or whether we have overutilized the resources. So like this, we can see in all this resource graph. Okay, so this was all about the introduction about MS Project. Now it's time to take questions. So I'm just opening the chat box. Okay, so let me just okay, we have not seen MSP before 935 or before cash flow graph. I'm sorry that I got late feedback. So maybe, but later on that I think I have shown you the screen, how it can be, or you can see, you can guess it, the network diagram. Currently we can see on a screen. And so that is the things. Generally for any project, if you have not seen any cash flow, you can assume that we have a big project and all activities can be planned as per the actual sequence you can see on a screen. And I was talking about the number of activities could be more than 1,000, 15,000, 30,000 like this. So it has to be planned as per the realistic. That was about the screen part. And just this is today's party, just to have idea about what is the role of the software, how it really start. It is a different aspect. So for that you require time to understand all the basics, and then you can develop a realistic schedule. Okay, I'm just checking all these questions in a chat box. Please bear with me. Okay, usually, question I'm reading. We give work contract on slab area basis, that is square feet basis. So is it possible to allocate material rate on square feet or labor also on labor basis separately? Can you elaborate on it so that costing would be displayed according to it? For example, I take slab area 4,000 square feet. So to construct, I need material 400 per square feet. It's labor. Okay, that is now. This I will just explain you. There are different options available. When you talk about resources, the resources could be any resources where you can just put it. That is as per your requirement. Suppose you have, this is the slab area. The area you can consider anything. Let us consider here, this is 1,000 square feet is your area. Now to complete this 1,000 square feet, and if you consider this is a slab having thickness, it's a 150 millimeter. So either you can go for it's on volumetric. Now, how the cost will come? Either you can go by this approach. Number one, either you can just add all these resources, that is the labor resources plus the material plus the equipment plus expenses. This is the one approach. The second approach would be like this. Now I will not go for all these methods directly. Suppose I have appointed one contractor and the rate of the subcontractor is, for the casting of this slab is, let us consider rupees 1,000. It's a per cubic meter. Means this 1,000 per cubic meter is just a labor rate. It's a labor rate. So the cost of the labor rate is equal to, that is, okay, so it's a per cubic meter. That will be, it's a volume multiply by rate, you will get the cost. It's a one approach. Third approach that we can just go like this. Number three, suppose you have given the work on built up area basis. Let me just take here. For example, it's a 200 rupees per square feet is a built up basis. So yes, definitely that we can just assign all the resources. But at the same time, here, I could have explained you, but this is the all approach. You can just go any method like this, 1, 2, and 3, and even the fourth approach, it would be like this. Number 4, that suppose you required, maybe it's a 3 lakh rupees to complete my one slab, just example I'm giving. So directly you can assign here 3 lakh rupees. So you first decide how you need all this costing part. and that is applicable and that we can assign it. Here, to just explain, let me just take this very fast. I will go here, file, I will just click on is a blank project. From this blank project, I will just create here. This is slab casting. Okay, let us take here, this is one day, right click on resource sheet. You have the subcontractor, that is RCC subcontractor, and the rate of the subcontractor is depends on per square feet, is a per square feet. Let me change the currency options. Okay, here let me just put it here, this is INR, and click on OK. Let's assume that the rate which we have discussed, let us consider this is 200 rupees per square feet. So just put here, this is 200 rupees per square feet. Go back to task, you select here cast, click on view, and I will just use here resources schedule, and I will use here RCC. Let us assume that we have, maybe it's a 1000 square feet. Click on OK, 1000 square feet. We can right click, insert, and we can put it here the cost. The cost would be here, this is this much, because already we have given rate. The rate we have given, how much was the rate? Going back to resource sheet, the rate was 200, and we have the total built up area is 1000 square feet. So 1000 multiplied by 200, you will get here is 2 lakh. Like this, we can just find out the costing part. I hope I have answered Mr. Ajit. Okay, let me just go ahead. How the MSP and other BIM software are working together. Okay, I think, okay, so here Abhijit, see, if we are talking about the BIM software, that consists of, as you are aware that in case of the BIM software, if you are just going here, it's a building information modeling that consists of all these options. Number one, it's a Revit architecture. Then it will be the structure. Then it's a MEP, mechanical, electrical, plumbing. Then it goes to the project management. Then it will be Navisworks, right? So here, in case of the project management, here you have the model. Let me just put it here. This is the model like a house. So this is your house. So this model, you can connect with this project management by putting here all your activities, and that all the thing will happen in Navisworks, and then you will get the animation where you can find out that at different timeline, how many elements I have to complete, what was planned, how much is actually completed. And definitely for the BIM, when you go for 4D and it's a 5D, right? 4D, when you are just talking about the time, and the 5D, when you talk about the cost. Subsequently, it goes to the earned value management. So this is not a right platform to discuss, but yes, definitely you have to just import all this MS project or Primavera file in Navisworks, and you can develop the animation. And so that I think you can see on my screen that one of the model which was developed. Okay. So this is the model which is developed, and it has to be connected with this MS project. And later on, even you can just imagine that all these activities which you are constructing on a site, that will happen through animations. At the same time, you can see the cost, and you can subsequently, you can control it. Okay, I hope I have answered your question. If yes, please let me know. What is the baseline? Okay. Basically, the baseline is a approved plan of your original schedule, and who approve this baseline? All the stakeholders. Just imagine, before starting your actual work, your work has to be approved and freeze. That is nothing but it's a baseline. What is the cost of the software? Generally, if you want to go for this MS project, the average will be 65,000 for per user or per desktop. And if you just go other software, it goes to more than, for Primavera, it will be more than 1 lakh for one person. Or if you go for the server, it will be more than 6-7 lakhs, depends on the number of users. Okay, to start with most of the atom are not explained. Okay, to start with most of the atom are not explained. I'm not getting this question, but in the beginning, I have assumed that you have little idea about what is the project management, WBS scope. Here, the main purpose of today's presentation is to how software work, right? And so it's not possible for me to start from the scratch or from the basic. How can we come to know the software is latest or updated version? See, this is the, you take any software and don't worry about the versions, because you are not utilizing 100% commands from any software. This is my personal experience that around 30 to 35% uses of MS Project, which is maybe currently is happening because due to the lack of awareness or the training, the people, they are not exploring extent of the software and the version. Definitely there is little change in each versions, but your base will or basic will remain same. Let me just give a simple example. What are the command we used to use in 2000, means 20 years back in AutoCAD, the same command is available today to draw a line, right? So your basic will remain same. There is a only enhancement in the commands. So don't worry about the software, but if you go in a help, that you will get, which is the version of the software. Is there any more options of software, or it's only two? There are so many options are available in the software. I have just shown the output of the software, the high level. In detail, there is so many options are available. It's not possible for me to just explain you in just 45 minutes. It will be a different session. Which is easy for MS Project or Primavera? See, let me just give a simple example about MSP and Primavera. It's like you are comparing two handsets of a different company. One is Samsung and one is Apple. So which is user friendly? It totally depends on your use, right? Some people, they feel that Apple is good, Apple phone is good. Some people, they say that Samsung is good. So it's totally depends on how frequently you are using it. And so that both the softwares are good, but as compared to Primavera, MSP is a user friendly. That's only the answer I can give at this time. Based on the size and the cost of the project, the selection software will be changed. Okay. Now, one more question here I would like to just explain. COVID-19 like situation, what plan to be taken? Okay, good question. This is the question which I will take, and then I think I should wind up. This is the last question. I'm going to take it. Let us take example of this one. Suppose you have planned. This is the plan, right? Now we are going to start the project. Let's assume that I'm going to start my project after 1st July. So this is my next date. Already I have completed few tasks. Now, what about this task? This task, which is supposed to be start in the month of June, but due to this COVID-19, there is a change. So what will happen? I will just give the one single command, update project, reschedule. And if I click on reschedule for entire project, now you can see there is no work. Entire schedule will get shifted and you can see the new schedule. So that is about the rescheduling of all these activities. Okay, so Kalyani ma'am, so should we wind up at this stage or should we take a few more questions?
Sir, if you have time, you can surely take some few questions.
Okay.
There is just one thing for the people who have missed out due to the screen not visible. Sir, can you just summarize the first 5 minutes of how to get started? That part we have just missed. Just
okay.
One 5-minute summarization, if possible.
Okay, so basically, whenever you are starting any project, let me start with this blank project. Okay, whenever you are starting any project, preferably software doesn't provide any calendars. I'm just giving a different aspect. So if you just see on this right-hand side, Okay, you can see here the calendar which work on or which work from Monday through Friday. Saturday, Sunday is non-working time. But in our construction industry, you know that Saturday has to be converted to working time. And even those who are working on site, they must or they will agree with me that even on Sunday also they have to work. So before you starting any project, you first get the input, which are the main constraint on the site. Constraint about the time limit, constraint about the resources, constraint about the space, availability, transportation, everything that you get it, and then you can start a planning of any project. When you are starting any project, preferably you have to start with all this WBS. That is, suppose I have one project. Let me just take it here, one hypothetical conditions, ABC. Then you have to start with this WBS. WBS in a construction, I'm going to start here, the substructure. Under substructure, I will go here. This is the earthwork. Again, it's a part of my substructure. Under earthwork, we have is an expression in soft soil. Okay, expression in a soft soil like this. So if you have the multiple activities, you can directly copy paste. It will be easy. Okay, and you can change it. For example, here it's a medium soil and so on. So we have to provide all the durations, and the moment you just provide all the durations, then you can see the date. All this date can be changed, provided that if you are linking all activities logically, I will just link it, and so you will get all the schedule. And so that if you take like this, you have to just develop a schedule, and we can see on a screen that for every activity you have to link it logically. How we have to link it, whether we have to wait to complete for the earlier activity or we can start activity parallelly, that everything that we can have to just plan it, and then you can develop a schedule. And output is about all these milestones, where you can see the milestones in this format. If I click on view, and it's a timeline, we have discussed that this is okay. Kalyani ma'am, I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, currently it's my desktop, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I was talking about, yes. So you can develop a meeting. So every meeting, what will be the first meeting, second meeting, third meeting, and like this. So it's very easy to just develop all these activities. And even in case of the meeting, which were the minutes of meetings, you can just put it here with the notes, or you can just put it in a PDF format, so can be visible to all people. So the schedule is very dynamic. You can change at any time. What are the changes we can see at any time? And that was my initial presentation, where, for example, if I want to just change anything, if I have changed any durations of any activity, for example, it's a 9.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So we are just able to see a logo of Infini Institute. Can you just again show your
okay. Just
desktop?
a moment.
Yeah.
Just a moment. Okay. Let me just reconnect it. Okay, I hope you can see. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Now it's yes, sir. It's visible now.
Okay.
Yes.
So I was talking about Just a moment. Okay, so I was talking about the dynamic model of MS Project. Here, if I do change anything, you take any condition. If I'm changing any activity, if I'm changing here, for example, here, this is 9 days. Due to this 9 days, what will happen? Preferably, I want to check it. What will be the impact on my overall project durations and what is the impact on my overall end date? Not only the start and end date of the project, at the same time, you can expect the changes in the resource loading also, cash flow of the project and like this. So this is very user-friendly, and you can see how many activities I have to perform in this month or maybe the next month. You can have the list of all these activities. You can find out the resources, and so many things are available. And so this was just an introduction part about those who have missed the initial part. Kalani ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you for again considering the missed out part. Sir, any more questions or
okay, so let me just go through a few questions. Okay, I'm just going for questions. Just a moment, please. Okay, I think in between there was disconnectivity, and so that I cannot see a single question. All questions I've lost. So I can see only the comments. And that is from 10:06 a.m. onwards. Okay, so few questions. What is the baseline? Okay, the baseline is nothing but it's a reference point. For example, if you consider this is the project, this project we have to set as a baseline. And for that, you have to go here, it's an approved version, and you have to go for the baseline, which is a reference point. This is a reference point. And if my project is getting shifted for any time, right? And so that I can see the deviations. And in absence of this baseline, I'm unable to find out how much is the deviations. As of now, if I see here, I cannot see how much are the deviations or differences. And so that to compare, I should have some original plan. So this is my baseline, which is the original plan. And this has to be set before starting your actual work. The moment you have started actual work, there is no point to set a baseline. Okay, the next question, how to resource leveling? What is WBS? There are so many questions which is all are linked with the basics. Let me just. Okay, can I use MSP for critical chain method terminology? I'm using Linux scheduler for, okay, there's so many software. Okay, you can use it. How can I set 4 days week off? Okay, so all these commands are, or maybe the scheduling part is you have to set a calendar. How we can decide that the activity is resource dependent? Can you explain with the activity how we can keep durations or activity? Is it on a task work per hour? Okay, it will take time because all the questions I need to take a few activities, resources, explain. It's not so simple that we are just attaching one resource to activity. We have to see the task type, we have to see resource type, then it will take time. It's not within a fraction of a second. I cannot explain you because that the background must be very clear. Can we do this work as a third-party agency only for monitoring? If yes, then what would we charge for the client? Okay, Umesh Kumar is asking. Let me just give you one simple example. In this COVID pandemic, most of the people are working work from home, and preferably one thing you please keep in your mind, we are from the construction background. Unless the construction happen on site, whatever the planning, the estimation, or it's a bar bending schedule design you are doing, that is useless. First of all, execution is a driving force, and you have to plan any project provided that it will be executed. And if the work has not executed, in that case, there is no need to do any planning. But we do provide a consultancy. It's not so simple. You cannot complete or you cannot do the consultancy just through online, because whenever you are starting any consultancy, in that case, first of all, you should understand what is a site, means the location of the project, then the site conditions, then the availability of the water resources, the requirement, the constraint, the deadlines, everything, meeting with the clients, meeting with the subcontractor. Then we have to develop a schedule. The schedule, when you are developing a schedule, it's not a one time, it's an iteration. There are so many changes and you should be capable to do all these changes. And so preferably when you go for the consultancy, the PMC, project management consultancy, depends on your exact role, but it can be ranged from 150 rupees per square feet. I'm talking about the built up area basis. So in this 150 rupee per square feet, you can charge as a PMC, but that would be that on behalf of the client, you are doing everything. Means you will have your own department, like a planning department, estimation department, and you have to just control all this quality execution. You have to select the material, you have to select the vendors, you have to appoint with the subcontractor. So ultimately on behalf of client, you are doing everything, and that is a consultancy, that is the 150. Otherwise, if you go for only for project management or to develop a schedule, that range goes to from 3 rupees to 5 rupees per square feet, just only for to develop a schedule. I hope I have cleared, Mr. Umesh. Can we compare two schedule in MSP? You can compare hundreds of projects, not a two schedule, right? Here, one more thing, that the question which you have asked, Mitesh, can we compare two schedule in MSP? You please understand. We suppose we have project. Every project is unique in nature. And so the situations, the challenges are unique for both the project. What is the point to compare one project to other project? Because every project is unique. But suppose you want to compare, in one project there are 100 activity and other.
Hello? Hello, sir. So you're not audible. Ade, sir? Hello?
Hello, can I take 10 minutes more?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Basically in MS project, suppose you have, it's a big township.
Hello, sir. You're not audible. Hello? Hello, Ade, sir. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me, sir? So you're not audible. We can't hear you. Hello? Hello? Ade, sir, can you hear me?
So am I audible, ma'am?
Hello?
Yes.
So
am I
now
audible?
we can, now we can hear you, but we had lost the connection for 2-3 minutes in between.
Okay, no problem.
And so you're
So I'm sorry, there was some internet connection issues.
okay, sir.
So I was talking about you can have a multiple project, you can combine it. There is no limit. Looking after the really increasing construction field, what is the future? Okay, what is the future of MS project? Will it be overtaken by other software, or it will be useful lifelong? The question which is asked by Amruta, see, first, software will not provide you any solution, provided that you provide some input. So there are two things. You should drive the software. It should not be a reverse case that software is driving you. And even if you don't have any software, don't worry. Even you can use a simple spreadsheet or Excel sheet, we can plan it, right? So it's not a question about the MSP or Primavera. So definitely construction, so it will be just a moment. It's just like due to this COVID-19 pandemic, it's just like it's a pause. It's not a stop of any project. Maybe it will be again rebound back. It will take time, but definitely it doesn't mean that we should not plan any project. It's more challenges. And so that you have definitely the use of the software will be there forever. Okay, how to know the reason of delay? This is one of the, again, is a big chapter about the delays and EOT, that is the extension of the time. So delays could be any parties from the client, consultant, contractors. There's so many delays, and due to that delay, there is again, it's a delay analysis, right? There are total 9 methods through which we can find out the delays, whose party is responsible, whether it's whether it's a delay, maybe the extension in the time, or maybe the cost can be done. This is a separate part of the delay analysis. But yes, you can mention about the delays. You just go here, any activities, and if there is a delay, you can just double click here and you can provide the reason of the delay. So whatever the reason, you can put it here. Everybody can know the reason of the delay and can be visible for that screen. If I again double click, the same text will be available. So we can just maintain a record, and documentation is very important for every activity and for the claims subsequently. Okay, can we transfer the data from MSP to Primavera? Okay, Sharwan, see, we can transfer data from MSP to Primavera, Primavera to MSP, MSP to Excel, Excel to all software. You take any software, there's a connection between Excel to all software. But if you talk about the any software, there are different softwares. MSP and Primavera is we know, but there are other software, like in case of the infrastructure project, or maybe the linear project, the pipelines or the roads, where we have to put hundreds kilometers of the pipeline or the roads. In that case, whether we have to use MSP or Primavera, there are other software like Tylos. So all softwares can be connected to each other. So don't worry about the connectivity between the softwares. Okay, so Sukrit saying that, may I know the detail about the speaker? You please talk to Kalyani ma'am. She will provide the detail. I don't know what is the purpose to get my detail, but it's given. You must have received the message to link. In that link, all this detail is given. Can we transfer the data? Okay, that again, same repeated question. How can we decide that activity is resource? Okay, I think this is, I have explained that it will take time. Okay, how to decide a predecessor? Ankita. See, to decide a predecessor, first of all, you get understand the types of dependencies and types of relationships. Whenever you provide any dependencies, that it should be realistic. Don't provide any theoretical relationship. For example, after execution, we have to go for the PCC, and so that for the PCC, execution is a predecessor, right? Now the next question is that, can we start? Depends. Let me just take a few more minutes and I will just explain you. When you are deciding the relationship between any activities, suppose we have this one activity, or maybe it's a second activity, and this activity I will consider as the expression, and second activity is PCC. So it totally depends on, first of all, I have to complete the expression and then I can start a PCC. It could be the situations where I can start here expression and the PCC I can start parallelly. So this is my second approach, where I have this relationship is like this. So again, this is the expression, I'm putting the short form, and this would be, it's a PCC. So whether we should go by this method, whether we should go by this method or this method, it totally depends on the site conditions and the requirement. There are 4 types of relationships and 4 types of dependencies. So we need to understand about that logic and approach, and then we can just go for this relationship. Okay, I think let us conclude today's session. Kalyani ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir, for a wonderful session. I would like to request PR Modak sir to just propose vote of thanks on behalf of our civil department.
Thank you, ma'am. On behalf of Civil Engineering Department, All India Shri Shivaji Memorial Society's College of Engineering, I would thank the speaker for today's webinar, Engineer P.T. Ade sir. Thank you, sir, for sparing your valuable time and sharing your knowledge and expertise on the topic. I would also like to thank our management, our principal sir, Dr. D.S. Bormani sir, our HOD sir, Dr. U.R. Avari, and all the participants for joining us in this learning experience. I'm sure you must have enjoyed it. Thank you one and all. There is an announcement for participants. Feedback link will be shared by today evening to your registered email ID. Due to some technical difficulties, we haven't been able to share in the chat box. Thank you.
Okay, thank you once again, Avari sir and all faculty members. It was a wonderful interaction between participants. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.